Look, let's be real for a second. Every single relationship hits a rough patch. It's just part of the deal. But what if you had a toolkit, an actual, actionable toolkit, based on principles that really work, to not just survive those moments, but to build something stronger because of them? Well, that's exactly what we're going to do right now.
So, it all kicks off with a question I'm pretty sure you've asked yourself before. Why on earth do we keep having this same fight over and over again? You know the one. It feels like you're stuck in a loop you just can't break. Well, it turns out there's a really predictable pattern going on here, a kind of downward spiral that therapists see all the time.
It almost always starts with this, a sense of distance. Sometimes it's super subtle, right? Just a little chill in the air. Or maybe it's obvious. You're just not really truly listening to each other anymore.
And then that distance becomes the fuse, and bam, you get that knee-jerk, impulsive reaction. It's the yelling, the snapping, the thing you say that you almost immediately wish you could take back. So, after that big emotional burst, what usually happens next? The retreat. You put up walls, you dive into your phone, you do anything and everything to avoid talking about what just happened, because you just don't want any more pain. And this is the trap. You start stewing. You replay old hurts, you zoom in on every single negative thing, and it just plays on this endless miserable loop inside your own head. Okay, so let's put it all together. This whole pattern, disconnection, reactivity, avoidance, and getting stuck inside your mind, it actually forms an acronym from a type of therapy called ACT. The acronym is DRAIN, and that's exactly what it does. It just slowly drains the life right out of a relationship. So when you look at it this way, the cycle becomes crystal clear. The D for disconnection, that's the shutdown. R for reactivity, that's when the blame starts flying. A for avoidance is when you just refuse to deal with it. I for inside your mind is that toxic stew of resentment, and all of that leads to the final nail in the coffin, N, neglecting your own values. You forget to be the kind, caring, supportive partner you actually want to be.
So how in the world do you stop the drain? Well, the very first step is a huge mental shift. It's about giving up the idea of controlling your partner and embracing the idea of influencing them. This is the heart of what's called the workability principle.
And this right here, this is the bedrock for any real change. You just can't control your partner. You can try all you want, it's not going to work. But you know what you can do? You can influence them. And the only tool you have to do that is your own behavior.
This really lays out two totally different paths, doesn't it? On one side, you've got the strategy of control. We've all tried it. It almost always backfires, leading to more fighting. But on the other side, you've got the strategy of influence. That's where you focus on your own actions, creating these little openings for positive change, and actually building a better relationship. And this brings us to the magic question of workability. You have to stop asking, am I right or who's to blame here? And instead, you ask this, is what I'm doing right now working? Is this yelling? Is this silent treatment? Is it actually getting me closer to the relationship I want? If the answer is no, then it's unworkable, and it's time to do something different.
Okay, so let's get practical. Let's dive into the actual tools. Because look, having the right mindset is huge, but you also need the skills to put it into practice. These are real techniques you can start using tonight to break that drain cycle and build some genuine connection.
All right, one of the most powerful tools in the box is something called the feedback wheel. Now, I know it looks a little structured, maybe even a little corporate, but trust me, it's an amazing framework for talking about tough stuff without making the other person defensive. It's a fight stopper.
So here's how it works. 4 simple steps. First, you just state the facts, only the facts, what a video camera would have seen. Like, when you came home, you threw your keys on the table. Step 2, you share the story you invented in your head. And the story I made up was that you were angry with me. Third, you name your feeling. That made me feel sad. And finally, you clearly state your need. I would really love it if we could just take a minute to say hi when you get home. See that? There's no blame, no accusation. It's just clear, responsible, and so much more effective. So if that whole downward spiral is called drain, what's the way back up? Well, the therapy that gave us drain also gives us a direct antidote. It's a counter acronym, LOVE. So instead of disconnection, you practice letting go of the struggle. Instead of reactivity, you choose opening up. Instead of avoidance, you focus on valuing your partner. And instead of getting lost inside your mind, you choose to engage with the here and now. It's the perfect roadmap out.
Okay, let's switch gears a little bit. We've been talking about fixing problems, but what about proactively building joy and meaning into your relationship? To do that, you have to understand this really critical difference between a routine and a ritual. So a routine is just functional, right? Taking out the trash every Tuesday. That's a routine. A ritual, though, a ritual has symbolic meaning. Think about it. Making coffee every morning can be a routine. Or it can be a ritual that says, I care about you, and I want to start your day off right. It's that shared meaning that turns a simple act into something powerful. Rituals are basically the glue of a relationship. And hey, this isn't just some fluffy, feel-good idea. This is backed by science. Researchers at Harvard found a direct, measurable link between couples who have rituals and things like higher commitment, more positive feelings, and just being happier in the relationship overall. They really matter. And you know what the best part is? Rituals do not have to be complicated or expensive. Seriously. Check out these super simple examples from the legendary relationship researcher Dr. John Gottman. A 6-second kiss before you leave. A weekly date night. Just connecting for a few minutes after work. These are small, tiny, intentional acts that build a massive foundation of connection over time because they keep sending the same message. You matter to me. So, when you're feeling stuck, when you feel that drain pulling you down, this entire toolkit brings you to a very clear moment of decision. It really shows you that when it comes right down to it, you only have 3 choices on how you can move forward. And honestly, they're pretty stark. Choice 1, you can leave. That's always an option. Choice 2, you can stay but give up. Just do nothing. Which we have to recognize is an active choice that pretty much guarantees things will get worse. Or choice 3, you can stay and you can choose to actively work on making it better using the kinds of tools and ideas we've just talked about. And that really brings us to the last and maybe the most important question of all. This whole thing, it all boils down to this one question. It's not about what your partner did, it's not about what's fair, it's about your own values. What kind of partner do you want to be? What do you want to stand for in this relationship? Because the answer to that question, that's where all your power is. That's where building a better connection really begins.